All right, welcome to the Harmony Channel. I'm Jason Whitlock, your host. Thank you so much for joining me. We have something great to talk about as it relates to Snoop Dogg and his backpedaling and bending over for the Alphabet Mafia. But before we get to that topic, and we'll do that with Virgil Walker and Shemeka Michelle, before we get there, we want to check in with our man, Pastor Corey Brooks, the founder and senior pastor of New Beginnings Church in Chicago and the CEO of Project Hood, helping others obtain destiny. Corey is in the middle of a walk across America. Corey, what city you in today?
So we're in DC, headed toward Virginia area. But this week we'll be all in DC. Tomorrow we got a big event planned with Senator Tim Scott for a luncheon with some of our donors. And then on Saturday, we're going to one of the hoods and we're having a big block party for the kids. So I'm excited to be in DC. It's going to be a big event, probably be about 2,500 kids out there.
Oh, Pastor Brooks, I got to understand now. You started in Chicago and you went east, and then you're going to go west. And so you're crisscrossing America, not just walking across America.
Yeah, so we actually started in New York Times Square. We flew from
Oh,
Chicago,
that's right.
started in New York Times Square, went to Philadelphia, Baltimore, DC. Now we're headed down toward the south, toward Atlanta, and then we're going to cross over and go west toward California.
What are you traveling in today? Is this an RV you're in? What's the scoop here?
Yeah, we have a Sprinter that was donated, and we have an RV that was donated. So when we do interviews, they pull the Sprinter up so we can clock in on a satellite and do the interviews. So that's what I'm on now. I'm on the inside of the Sprinter.
All right, so you're in D.C. You're meeting with Tim Scott. You couldn't get on the president's schedule.
Now I couldn't get on the president's schedule, but believe me, I tried. And you never know; it might happen before Friday. We're working, we're trying, but you never know. You know how that goes.
Now, have you spent much time in D.C. before? Any good lunch spots, or what are you doing in D.C. besides conducting business?
Well, yesterday we went and did an interview in front of Dunbar High School. It's a very interesting place. In the early 60s and 70s, it was a place where a lot of great people came out of that school. A lot of academians, a lot of professional individuals. But as late 70s and then the 80s and 90s, as it started to turn, that school has become not a good school at all. It has a really low reading proficiency, a really low math proficiency. And you would think that the graduate level would be low as well, but that's what makes it so absurd. The graduate level is upward of 70% when their math and reading proficiency would say something different. So they're graduating our kids not being able to read, not being able to do math, and it's a very unfortunate thing. But that's where I was yesterday doing a story on Dunbar. So that'll be out next week.
So you're saying you're interviewing or you're meeting with some kids later today. In what area of DC will you be at later today? You say it's in the hood. It's as bad as O Block,
So
or not as bad, or as I don't
I
want to
don't
use
know if
that
you
word.
I don't know if you can get it bad at Black, but it's
Yeah.
close. We're gonna be in Anacostia. I think that's the name of the area. And we're going to have a block party. We have some other organizations that are partnering with us, and so we're really looking forward to having a block party for the kids and letting them get out and do something. The National Guard to be on post, so it's going to be really interesting.
All right. So I think you were on a couple of weeks ago, I want to ask for an update. How are we doing with the fundraising? Where are we at?
Yeah, I think when I was on a couple of weeks ago, we were trying to reach 1 million. So we reached that mark. We're now at 1.9 million. We just had $1 million gift that was given to us from Ken Griffith, the founder and CEO of Citadel, who has been very generous toward us. So he gave us $1 million toward the walk, and that put us at 1.9. We're trying to get to 2 million before the end of the month, and that's our goal. And but our ultimate goal is 25 million. I don't want to have to get to LA a year from now and not made that 25 million, because then that may mean I might have to turn around.
Are you getting any local media coverage everywhere you go?
I'm getting a little local media. We got some DC coverage, which is really good. That's what we got to work a little bit better on, making sure that we get local media coverage and making sure that everyone knows that we're in the area. DC has been good to us so far, but as we go now toward the South, I'm hoping that we can pick it up in Virginia and North Carolina, South Carolina, those places, and Georgia. So it's going to be very interesting, but I hope and pray we can pick it up.
All right, where are you headed next?
We're headed to Virginia. We have some big events in Richmond, Virginia, and Alexandria. That's the area that we're going to be headed to after this event on Saturday. So after the event on Saturday, is headed toward Virginia.
All right, and I'm going to talk to Crystal about this off air. That I need to figure out when you're coming through Tennessee and Nashville. Maybe I'll have you over to the house and we'll have a big dinner and cookout for you
Yes.
here at the house. And we'll invite some people that got deep pockets, and we'll try to get you some support here. So I'll check in with Crystal about. Or you don't know off the top of your head when you're coming through the Nashville area, do you?
I don't know off the top of my head, but we are definitely coming through the Nashville area. And, it would be good to invite us over to that high cotton house you got. All those new furniture and those new furnishings and all that new remodeling you done. Let us come and hang out a little bit. Me and Virgil want to come and eat some ribs at your house. So please invite us lower brothers over to the big house.
We. Oh man! All right, I'm gonna let you go on that note. Tell everybody where they can go to donate. Tell everybody where they can go to donate.
They go to projecthood.org, and it's good.
Thank you, Pastor Brooks. Appreciate you. All right, let's move on to our topic here of the day with Virgil and Shemeka. Guys, welcome in. Snoop Dogg has done some backpedaling here, guys. He's putting out music. Love is love with the LGBTQ community. We'll start with what he's said in recent days, and then eventually we'll dial back to what he was saying a few weeks ago. Let's play SOT number 8.
Love is Love is a record that my kids program, Doggyland, presented me, where it's the song where it's teaching love is love, it's teaching parenthood, it's teaching the situations that kids and the world is going through right now in a beautiful way through song, dance, melody, and just trying to get more understanding, clarity on how we live and the way we live. And I felt like this music is a beautiful, bridge to bringing understanding. This is a program that we've been doing for years where we involve kids, and these are things that kids have questions about. So now hopefully we can help answer these questions and, help them to live a happy life and understand that love is love.
Amen. I don't know if you know this, but I was a nanny in New York.
No, you wasn't. You wasn't no nanny. You probably was letting the kids do whatever they want.
I sure did.
Man.
I sure did. But I had like 8 jobs, and
Are you Jamaican? Because I have 3 jobs.
Well, I had 8. And one of them was being a nanny, and it was to 2 dads. And I had, I grew up in Tennessee, so I had never really seen that before. And I didn't really think anything of it. I was like, I'm in New York, And but they had one son named Malcolm, and I was his nanny for about 2 years, and we formed a really big bond. And I was like, I don't know what I can possibly do for these 2 dads, because they kept finding ways to support me. They were like, because I also was a personal trainer.
Right.
They were like, well, we'll also personal train with you, and then you can also help them with piano. They just wanted to support me being a struggling, artist in New York. And so I was like, what can I possibly do for them for Christmas? Because I can't really buy them anything. But I wrote them this long letter being like, you have made me realize that I can be a dad.
So that's Snoop Dogg, who has put out a gospel rap album, who has, claimed a faith in Jesus Christ. Hold on, I'm gonna play this other clip from about a month ago when he caught heat, and for saying these things about taking his young kids or relatives to a movie. Let's play that clip.
I took my grandson to see what was the movie with Buzz Light?
Toy Story?
Not that one, but
The new Buzz. The Lightyear. I think it's
Yeah,
called
with
Lightyear.
Keke Palmer's in that movie.
Okay,
She
okay.
plays like the daughter. So we watching it, and the lady, which is Kiki's mama, they move on into the space years. They move down the line. They're like, man, she had a baby with a woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh, shit. I didn't come in for this shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie. Hey, man, watch the movie. They just said she had a baby. They both women's. How did she have a baby? Shh. The movie ain't over with. So it's like, I'm scared to go to the movies now. Like, y'all throwing me in the middle of shit that I don't have an answer for.
He's got an answer now. Shemeka, I'll let you fire first. This is quite the backpedal by Snoop Dogg.
It's the backpedal, Jason, but we knew it was coming. When we spoke about this a month ago, we said that he would not stand 10 toes down. And now we can see he said it was Luke bending over, but now it's Snoop bending over, and Snoop's getting you know what. This just really frustrates me, Jason, because we see all of the talk that people have about the Jews in the music industry. I've always said they can't do anything without the participation of all the Black folks, so all the other folks. And Snoop is just showing that he goes wherever the check is. He has no morals, he has no values, and he's not a gangster. He's a fake gangster because gangsters stand on their business and they stand 10 toes down. Snoop doesn't do that, never has, and never will.
Virgil, your thoughts here.
Well, the G that used to stand for gangster now stands for gay pride. It's amazing to watch Snoop capitulate on this issue. Go back to the first interview. There was no sunglasses on. You could see his eyeballs. He was looking you straight in the face. All of that, and saying exactly what he said, very candidly, very clearly, to where he jumps on this other stage with the words "death row" behind him. Those words could mean less or the opposite of what he was actually demonstrating while he's on this panel discussion or this podcast with someone who's incredibly effeminate. He was so uncomfortable. One, he had to keep his sunglasses on so that you wouldn't see his eyes. And secondarily, he was so nervous, he had to make a joke about being Jamaican. He was uncomfortable. It was obvious as this effeminate young man tries to talk to him about working with children. This is all a show. It's all a game. It's all a charade to play to the LGBTQIA plus community. And it's an absolute shame. I think Shemeka's spot on. I never expected Snoop Dogg to stand 10 toes down. He's one of those men, unfortunately for him, as gangster as he tried to portray himself early in his career, who got his finger in the wind, waiting to see which direction it blows, and that's the direction in which he's absolutely going to go. It's a sad shame if it weren't so predictable.
Virgil, turn your gain down a little bit. I think it'll help the audio for one. And Shemeka, I'm gonna follow up with you here. I've been uncomfortable and critical of Snoop Dogg for a long time. I remember when he went after, wasn't it Gayle King he went after and basically threatened. It's been about the only thing he's been willing to stand 10 toes down on. Gayle King had mild criticism, and I don't even know if it was criticism, but she basically asked a question about Kobe Bryant when he passed away and the rape allegations. She was just being a journalist. And Snoop Dogg basically threatened her. And the administration, I can't remember the woman from the Obama administration, is like, oh no, we can get at you, Snoop. Basically, you need to back up. And he backed up and backed down. But it's like these gangsters can bully women and talk crazy with women. But when it comes to the LGBTQ, it's a Deion Sanders like backpedal, and the next thing you know, you're coming out with a song. Love is Love. That's one of the most demonic songs that's ever been written. And you're coming out with a song and you're pushing it to kids. This is why I say hip hop is demonic. This is why I say that these major hip hop stars, they're demonic. This bothers Snoop Dogg. He's complained to people that know me that I keep saying, like, Snoop Dogg's demonic. He's making it crystal clear. And when you start putting out content, pushing gayness on young kids, I don't know what could be more demonic. And I I just have no respect for Snoop Dogg, and I know that, because I'm black, I'm sure he's willing to threaten me, and maybe even willing to pay someone to do violence towards me, because he's that type of a coward. But I guess if I were gay, he would back down and say, "Hey, let me pull my pants down. Business is wide open for you, Whitlock," because that's what he's doing for the Alphabet Mafia.
Yeah, and I guess I'll be a funky dog face, whatever he called Gail King. I'll be that because he'll probably come after me too. It's really sad, Jason, because the same confusion that he said his grandchild had, he's willing to push that confusion on other children. That's how you know he has no real conviction. That's how you know it's demonic. Why would you even do this when you know it causes confusion and Satan is the author of confusion? So you're really signing up for his team to say, hey, the word isn't getting out enough. Let me add this to my platform. And I just can't respect any of them anymore. I just look at them, Jason, and I shake my head. It's sad to see because so many people still believe Snoop is, I don't know, doggy style Snoop or, this innocent person. I was speaking to a friend of mine who was a Snoop fan, just as I used to be a Snoop fan. And she was really sad. And it was unbelievable to her when I said, he has this same sex couple in his show, because she was saying the show has been out for a while. And I'm like, no, he's on the other team. And it's so hard when people have bought into the idea that these celebrities are who you think they are, and they just aren't. They are working for the other side. And if it's good versus evil, they have definitely signed up for evil. There's no way around it.
Virgil, I think is Virgil. Yeah, Virgil. There's almost, I don't know if there's any of these celebrities, particularly multimillionaire celebrities, that I put any faith in, because I think the only way to receive those type of financial rewards in the world that we've built today is through an allegiance to wickedness. And so, as upset as I am with Snoop Dogg, um, it's basically all of them. It is what it is.
Yeah, this is the Diddification of rap music. This is the Diddy influence, where now we switch for the other team, we play for the other team, and then we promote that to as many people as possible. Again, I go back to the fact that he was so embarrassed by what he was doing. He had sunglasses on, so you couldn't see his eyes. I mean, he knew that what he was doing was fake, was not real, was not authentic, and was false. But he also knew that he had to bow his knee to the god of Mammon, because ultimately he knew that he had to collect the check. And so in order to collect the check that he needs in order to take care of his family and others, this was the shaming ritual that he was willing to engage in order to make this a reality. No one should be taking information, thought processes, any kind of training and education, especially as it relates to children, from Snoop Dogg or anything he produces. But this is more evidence of it. And I think, Jason, this story is important because it exposes the things that you've been talking about on this show for quite some time, that the whole music industry, the Hollywood extremists are all in bed with Satan. And this is what that looks like.
Shemeka, I'll give you a final thought and we can bounce and get on with our day.
Yeah, I don't really have much of a final thought. Just listening to Virgil when he said they're all wicked, and you have been saying this for a while, Jason. It's like I wouldn't say idol because I don't have any idols, but everybody that I thought maybe was who they said they aren't. When I look at what Chuck D has been saying over the last couple of years, I've been very disappointed. Looking at Willie D and how much he simped for Kamala, I've been very disappointed. And now watching Snoop Dogg backpedal in a month's time, it's just very disappointing. All of them bend over for the other team, and all of them bow and worship a dollar. They stand on nothing, and it's just been very disappointing to watch.
It's so funny you bring up Chuck D because I've forgotten about Chuck D because I used to get a lot of his content over Twitter, and I think I had to mute him so that I wouldn't get his content because I had a lot of respect for Chuck D. It's not that I agreed with Chuck D, but I thought like, man, this dude stands for something, whether I agree or disagree. And then I followed his social media. I was like, this dude stands for nothing.
Yeah.
And Virgil, I'm gonna let you end it because I do think that from Chuck D to all these celebrities that they feel like what they would offer up as their defense is like, hey man, they got enough dirt on me that they could send me to prison or they could kill me. And they're just not willing. They've compromised themselves in a way that, they have to take the coward's route because they're afraid of death. And if you're a Christian and like a true one, you really shouldn't fear death. It's an opportunity to go be with Jesus. And you really shouldn't care about being rich in this world because there's a richness in salvation and eternal life that blows the richness of the world away. But I think Chuck D has different religious beliefs and all that. But that's anyway. I'm just it's disappointing. And even though I've never made these guys idols, but you did used to think like some of them stand on something, but none of them do. And I guess here's where I would ask you to comment. If you're not standing on Jesus Christ, you're standing on quicksand. Everything else is quicksand. So I shouldn't be surprised. Virgil?
No, you're absolutely right. That's why I said this is the deification of in full force of what you're seeing. They've got something on him, whether it's his past criminal activity, all of the murders that he got passed off on or got by with. This is the opportunity that he knew that he had to capitulate on because of the fact that he got something in return for it early on. And so that's what you're seeing, to the point that you've made constantly on this show. If you're not standing on 10 toes down on Christ and him crucified, you stand on quicksand. Your feet are firmly planted in midair is what that looks like. And so you're witnessing that in real time as you watch what Snoop Dogg is engaged in and in any other litany of artists that you can mention and have mentioned on the show.
Thank you guys. Great job as always. We'll play some harmony and we'll see you next time.
Up so divided, stop fighting and stand tall. We used to be a nation, one united. Now we're headed for downfall. God, let your light shine down. What we need more than anything